To all who support, I first want to thank Holland Christian staff for their commitment to invest in my children. I can see that this is more than a job to them. It is a calling. Our experience has been nothing but rewarding. Today, we have all 4 of our children attending Holland Christian School, something I thought would be impossible to do.
We were hit by a problem that depleted our savings, and we were staring at a tuition bill we couldn't afford. We were both devastated. We considered a number of scenarios, but then we reached out to Holland Christian and learned about the Tuition Grant Fund. The Tuition Grant Fund is making it possible for us to keep our kids in Holland Christian schools, and we are eternally grateful for that gift.
For me, the Tuition Grant Fund has meant my kids could still attend Holland Christian despite my falling on financial hardships. It has helped make tuition more affordable and allowed my kids to stay enrolled here. It gives me such joy that my kids understand their Christian teaching and that the community of HC values this teaching. I know that the sacrifices being made by all are so worth it.
If I had the chance or were brave enough to stand in front of everyone who makes the Tuition Grant Fund possible, I would want to say the biggest thank you. It would be through tears for certain. Each person who gives makes it possible for me to send my children to HC. Holland Christian is a place where God is taught, worshiped, and sought after. Christian education is one of the most important gifts I will ever give my children. Thank you.
We have our kids in Holland Christian schools because we want God to be the driving force in our kids' lives. We want our kids to know that we love our neighbor because God first loved us. We want our kids to give grace because God gives us grace. We want our kids to be a living testimony to the greatness of God. The Tuition Grant Fund is making it possible for my kids to keep growing in this God-filled environment, to be surrounded by teachers and staff that love them and pray for them and teach them about God. We are so grateful.
As we drive to school each morning, we pray together, and I always start by saying how grateful I am that they are able to attend a wonderful Christian school where they learn about the love of God. Without the Tuition Grant Fund, we would not be able to send our kids to Holland Christian. We are so incredibly grateful for the possibility that has been given to our family through the generosity of donors to Holland Christian.
I was sure that all my kids would graduate from HC. The thought of not being able to send them never really crossed my mind. However, life brought some unexpected changes that I never could have anticipated. My financial situation changed significantly, and school fees were no longer something I could afford. Without hesitation and with grace, Holland Christian stepped in and made it possible for my kids to continue in their education. My gratitude for the financial help, but more so the kindness and understanding and willingness to partner in my life beyond education, was an example of Holland Christian living out what they believe. I am thankful and proud that my children will be HC graduates.
Our family is so thankful for the donors who make the Tuition Grant Fund possible. We are not blessed financially, and even with the grant every month, the tuition payment is a struggle. We're so thankful for the donors who make this possible, and we hope that our involvement at Holland Christian serves as a blessing to someone else.
The Tuition Grant Fund is an amazing blessing and vital for my kids to be able to attend Holland Christian. As a single parent, I still want to be able to provide for my children financially and spiritually. Holland Christian has been such a beautiful environment for my kids to grow in all areas, academically, socially, spiritually. I am so grateful for the tuition help. Thanks to all who contribute. From the bottom of my heart for aiding in the lives of our children to each become their own living testimony of God's provision and faithfulness.
None of this would be possible without the Tuition Grant Fund.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the donors who give.
I am so very grateful.
From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you.